ShineHard family and friends, welcome back to another episode of the ShineHard Conversation. I'm your host, Johnny Bailey, and I'm here this week in Washington, D.C. with fitness enthusiast and entrepreneur Matt Green. Matt is the co-founder and head captain for District Running Collective, an organization that advocates the running culture and has really taken the D.C. streets by storm. This week, Matt's going to talk about the story behind DRC, some of the challenges and adversities that they face as entrepreneurs, and share some of his personal secrets of success. And most importantly, become a member of the ShineHard family. So I'm looking forward to it. And Matt, it's time to shine.
Cool, let's do it.
My man. So it's always fascinating to me when I talk to talented people and successful entrepreneurs to find out how their journey began. So talk a little bit about your childhood and what growing up was like for you.
Okay. So basically, I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, and I grew up going to private school. So, my mom and dad, hardworking individuals, and they definitely made it a priority to put me and my older brother, through, a good education.
Yeah.
From kindergarten, 8th grade, all the way up to high school.
Yeah.
I went to DeMatha Catholic High School.
That's a good school.
It's a great school. Go Stags. But yeah, growing up was always creative. I was always into art, and drawing and painting.
Yeah.
And I always had little side businesses as well. Kind of just little things that I took from my parents. My mom, my mom and my dad have, their full-time jobs, but they always did something on the side. My mom was really into doing crafts, and she did art shows, and she made dolls and different kinds of black art.
I see.
So growing up, it was I would go to the shows with her, and I could see she had her workshop where she would design different things. So
you got to see that entrepreneurial, creative spirit.
Definitely. So, I took a lot from that. Her having her business, and I think a lot of that helped me mold me into what I do now. And my dad as well, as far as hardworking guy. Really, he's in the construction industry. So.
Okay.
Working with him when I was, weekends and during the summer was ways where I can make money on as growing up trying to buy things that I wanted.
Test the will.
Exactly, and it was hard work.
Yeah, working with your hands is tough work.
It was definitely, but definitely things that helped build me into who I am now.
Absolutely. So what was that thing when you were a kid? We all have that thing when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be this and that. What was that one thing you wanted to be when you grew up?
Kind of embarrassing, but definitely I was really always into sports. I was heavy into sports growing up. So I wanted to play, football.
Yeah, that's not embarrassing.
I mean, that dream got cut short very fast. Like I said, I went to DeMatha, so it wasn't really having that. It wasn't really going to work for me playing football at DeMatha, unfortunately.
Talk a little bit about how DRC got started and what's the story behind it all.
Okay. So DRC started back in 2013. It was myself and 3 of my close friends.
Okay.
Carlin Meyer, Chaz Dawson, and Taylor Blake.
Okay.
And at the time, we had just graduated from college, I guess a few years later. But we had just, graduated, so we were really getting into the grown-up lifestyle and trying to figure out what we want to do.
What school were you guys at?
We all went to North Carolina A&T.
Okay, A&T, so, true.
Aggie pride.
All right, it's that MEAC. I give y'all some love.
But basically, they were, a lot of them were trainers, and we were all getting into running and working out and things like that. So I wanted to do something different for my birthday that was a little bit different than just going out to the club, getting a table, bottles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's cool, cool and all, but
the park is cool once a year.
Right. Park is dope, but I was turning 26 at the time.
Okay.
And I had been seeing these different running communities that were growing and building all over the world.
Right.
Especially in New York. It's kind of where the running crew movement started.
Absolutely.
It was in New York. But I wanted to do something different that had a fitness aspect, and we didn't have anything like the crews I was seeing in New York or in London. We didn't have that in DC, and DC has been an ever evolving kind of like community,
Right.
well, city over like the last like 10 years especially. But basically I wanted to do something different for my birthday, and I took this as an opportunity to introduce like having a 5K at midnight for my birthday, and trying to like get people to come out and be a part of it. So that's initially how that idea started. It was something small where it was like, all right, cool, maybe we might get like, 25 people to show up. My friends were like, everyone's like kind of getting into fitness, but the idea of running as a group at midnight on a Friday night for a birthday was like kind of unheard of.
It seemed like a bit much. Like, what?
Right. But I branded it. We made some T-shirts. We just like right when Avery's had came up on U Street.
Okay.
I mean on H Street. So we talked to Avery. I was like, yo, can we have this run out of your your business? Like he was just for like really getting going with Avery's on H Street. So he was like, yeah, sure. Like I can run and do whatever y'all want to do. Like, sounds crazy, but sure, y'all go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Put it out on Instagram and set up like an Eventbrite, and we ended up getting over 100 people show up that night and sign up to be a part of the run.
Wow.
So that was the initial idea behind DRC, was the run Midnight on Mars.
Oh, Midnight on Mars.
Midnight on Mars is the name of it.
Okay. That was like a 5K?
It was a 5K at midnight on H Street.
So what was the next step? How did you guys take it from this one-time event and make it a movement? Like, what were some of the marketing strategies or thought processes into making it bigger?
So basically, taking the same thing where like the midnight run on a Friday, it was like, all right, cool. Like, how do we like really get into things that people do and like try to put a spin on it with a running aspect? Yeah. So we had like a pool party run at Cowboy Skyline. We called that like No Lifeguard on Duty. And we had like T-shirts that we made. They said runners on duty, so it was like a lifeguard shirt.
Yeah.
So we like take these like little, I guess like marketing employees or whatever to like promote.
Making it fun.
Yeah, exactly. So from that, we started like people were like really getting into it, but they weren't. It felt like we were just throwing events and people were coming to it. It didn't feel like people were a part of DRC. So in 2014, that's when we started the weekly run. Okay. In the dead of winter. It was like February. It was snow, like everything was on the ground, and we did that for a reason. But we looked at it as a way that's how you can really build community. Yeah. Is to have something that's consistent, like week in, week out, like we're here. Right. And we started in the winter to show like we're a real, running group, and not just want to wait for like the perfect weather. Right. For to go outside and run. So
right. It's kind of like that Hayes initiation. Like if you real, you gonna run with us.
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you say the members are receiving in order, when they're becoming a part of DRC?
I would say, because when people come out, it's like they're definitely a part of like the DRC community. Yeah. But the DRC members, is the value of that is the fact that there's things like that we work with different businesses. We get perks. A lot of people reach out to us, that give us products. We have a partnership with Under Armour now.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So that was like another little aspect where we can really direct things to our members. So we have special events as far as just for like that group of people that not anyone can just like come to. Like we had a welcoming party where we had we gave like a whole package with like T-shirts, bags, everything branded. Nice. But it was like just for those members, because it was like, yo, you all believe in us. We definitely want to put whatever we can get the value and like try to give it back.
Absolutely. So what's the mission of DRC?
So basically, like DRC is like it's a DC crew, so we're all about local, being positive and motivating people to run. Right. But it's like really, you just want to like, in all honesty, we want to make running cool. We want to make it like welcoming for people, especially within DC. Okay. Is it just for like an urban community, or is it all It's for everyone. Okay. It's for everyone. We do have a strong minority foundation, because like I went to HBCU. Of course. So like, at first, like coming, like I have like a huge HBCU network. Yeah, of course. So it just like it was super organic, and then as we started, everything started to mix a lot more, and it got a lot more diverse from when we first started back in 2013 to what it is now. Talk a little bit about the Under Armour partnership. That's pretty epic. Yeah, it was super dope. It kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah. Usually those opportunities come out of nowhere. Like they come find you. Yeah, they actually did. So I had been talking to a few different, like a few brands, I had some. I used to work at the Nike store as a pacer.
Okay.
So I had a huge connections with Nike.
Yeah.
Some people at Adidas, and I really didn't have any connects with Under Armour. Except I knew that they were starting to like really get into the running community a little bit more, because Nike was like really
Right, they were killing it.
They were killing it. Yeah. they were doing their thing.
Yeah.
They definitely added like the whole look good, feel good part to making running like look better.
Right.
So it just so happened like we were trying to like kind of like shopping around, trying to see like who was interested, because we wanted to really provide our members with like more.
Yeah.
And we, it kind of helps to have like a brand backing.
Absolutely.
So with Under Armour, they actually approached me, and it was like kind of out of nowhere, but they had their stuff together. They were like, "Yo, we see what you're doing. You guys are, in DC. We're in Baltimore. You guys are in our backyard. It only makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to like really break into this industry, like the social running and these different running influencers." And you guys are like, we see what you guys are doing. We want, we've been hearing great things, so let's try to make something work.
All right. What's one thing you wish you knew before you had started DRC?
One thing I wish I knew. I would say definitely like preparation. Like I didn't know it was going to be so much work, doing the things behind the scenes. And so I would definitely say like, I wish I knew like how to like really like prepare things like on the back end side, and like knowing like it's gonna be meetings and trying to balance like my real job and then doing stuff for DRC, because it's definitely like 2 full-time jobs. So like really just like preparation.
There's a lot of good things about being an entrepreneur, and for me probably my favorite thing would be the freedom, the ability to work when I want, where I want. For you, what would you say is the best part about being an entrepreneur?
I would probably say just like taking like a small idea and seeing it like really grow into something. Like so like that initial like thought, and then the end product being like something, either it's extremely great or it could be a failure, whatever it may be, but just like that process, like the creative process, like having the idea and just like having like working towards that end product to create something.
Yeah.
It's like super special.
Yeah, that is. That concept to reality piece is a very, very fascinating experience.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I mean, affecting people is like something that I look at as like, what they say, what's your purpose in life? And I kind of like, I would say fairly early in my like professional career, I like looked at it like, I really want to affect people in some type of way.
yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be DRC, but I did realize like, hey, like, I'm out here trying to like do something better, and it's like really helping people out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's real. That's real. So aside from DRC, you also have a job that you work during the day. Can you talk a little bit about what you do and how you balance having that day job and then having that, passion project outside of that?
Yeah, I work for the government as a graphic designer, and it is.
So that's why those graphic designs on DRC or something.
Yeah, I do all the.
That's you. Okay, it makes sense.
So my background is design, and I really try to really get into brand marketing is like what my passion is as well. But balancing the full time and DRC is like, it's super tough, because honestly it's not like a side job. It's like you can't put like half of your energy into something on the side. It's like it's like 2 full-time jobs that I'm working. So I mean, it's tough, but at the end of the day, it's like you just have to do it. If you want something, at the end of the day, it's like you have to put the work in, and it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take time.
Right, long hours.
So and consistency is key. Especially with having something that you're doing. Like
if you don't have consistency, you don't have a brand.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people take that for granted when they come up with an idea. They don't really understand like how hard it is to be consistent. You think it's easy, like week in, week out, every day,
month after month, year after year.
Exactly.
So they say reading for the mind is what exercise is for the body, and to me that's just a testament to how important like studying and self-education really is. If you had to think about your journey, what's one book that you would say has changed your life as an entrepreneur?
Okay. The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
Okay.
It's a short book, but it's like it's one of those like books. It's not like it tells you like everything to do and like you'll get $1 million.
Yeah.
But it's just like waking up early. Waking up, starting your day before 7 a.m. or whenever you have to get out to work.
Right.
And focusing on like meditation and I guess like working out and just like different things like within the book that it really preaches about like starting your morning, how important like your morning routine is. Great book. I gift it a lot, because a lot of people struggle getting up in the morning. So it's like you have to really, right. It's not easy, but that book definitely like gives you a lot of like inspiration to like why it's important to wake up early and start your day, like the day before the day.
Right. It feels really good when you wake up early and start getting some things done. Like you have a productive morning and it's like noon and you've done more than most people do. Or like the whole day. You feel pretty good about that. So that's much respect. I might have to check that book out myself.
Great book. It's a great book.
I'll try. I'm more of a night person, but we'll see what I can do.
I'm not a night person at all. It's like I gotta get my sleep.
Are you clocking out 11?
Like I can't. It's like my brain just like turns off. I'm definitely more of a morning person.
Yeah.
But it's still a struggle like during the work week to like get up before I have to go out to work. Make sure I get breakfast and the positive affirmations like telling yourself like you're gonna do great today.
That's real.
Different things like that.
Yeah. One of my positive affirmations is passion changes everything, and I say that because I really believe passion is the first step to purpose, and that's kind of like the staple behind this whole project. And I always ask every person I ever interview this question, and I want to know your answer. What is your passion, and when did you know?
Yeah, I think I had said it earlier, but it's like really affecting people.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what that meant to like affect someone until I started DRC. And affecting people by either storytelling through my designs and branding. But at the end of the day, it's like when starting DRC and having someone that never in their life, thought about running a half marathon or a marathon, and then like me running it myself is like, all right, cool, this is like great, for me individually. But then getting someone else out there and you and your movement, really inspired them to get out and run, and they finish and they got tears in their eyes and they're like, yo, like you changed my life, with DRC. It's
That's
like
crazy.
Wow, like it took things to a different level, and it happened like I would say in like 2014. I mean, seeing people like physically change, like taking their health more serious, and just like slimming down, like seeing like that they're like happier, and really like causing them to like be better persons, like be better, versions of themselves. Yeah. So like once I like saw that and like heard people like really like it changed their life, and like that I was a part of that experience, was like all right, this is it.
Yeah, that's extremely humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you knew you were doing something that's bigger than you.
Exactly.
And I think that's everything. If I ran track in college, and if I ran 13 miles, I would probably have tears in my eyes.
Try running a marathon. That's like I ran one marathon, and that's 26.2 miles.
Oh,
and like that was tough.
I ain't messing with it, bro.
That was tough. I ran it in Chicago, but like the last 800 meters, like going down the stretch, like I was cramping up.
Oh.
I had a goal, like I already like passed like the time, so it was like, yo, just finish, man.
Right.
And it was a straightaway. It was like some thug tears. Just like yo, I'm almost done. It's like, definitely gonna do more though. Definitely
respect. So with all that being said, like I'm sure you have to make a lot of sacrifices in your life. Like what things are you sacrificing in your life, or what is your biggest sacrifice you made?
So I would say probably we talk about like career paths and wanting to do certain things or where you see yourself. So I definitely think I had a goal to like have a career change, a job change. I wanted to get more into brand marketing and leaving the government and really trying to go that way. So I would say like sacrificing in the short term, like that dream of like trying to do something for a bigger business or corporate company or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to do that. But on the other side, like, well, I do have DRC, which has grown to like levels that I never thought it would be.
Yeah.
So I think that was like one of like the biggest sacrifices was just like those other dreams that I had of like trying to complete something. That and then like my sleep.
Yeah.
Sacrifice sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably like one of the biggest things. Just
That's
like
real.
have to change how you look at where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do you see DRC in 5 years? Is it something that you could, completely transition over to, or will it always be a couple to your other?
Eventually, I definitely want it to be. I want that to be my full time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm putting in like my main full time.
Right.
Just do that all day.
Right.
So I would say in 5 years, like hopefully we would have like a bigger impact on the city, on DC. Have like our own like official race in DC.
Yeah.
And just keep growing like our membership and like really building a community and making like the traveling aspect a lot bigger.
Right.
Like getting people to get out of their comfort zones and travel to another part of the world and see the things that I've seen just from like traveling, and then adding that running lifestyle to it.
Yeah. So what running clubs are you looking at that have already like taken it to a point where they're doing it for their full time? Are there other groups that you look at like, okay, I see how we can model this?
In a way, not exactly from like the clubs or the crews. I haven't seen a lot of people, a lot of the other like crew leaders, they have their own full-time jobs as well.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of do everything, they split it as well.
Right.
So I've seen like more like race directing companies like the Pacers or like I've seen people kind of convert to like maybe doing like stores and things like that, but there really isn't, I haven't seen from like my experience like a blueprint to follow for like how from get to point A to point B.
Right.
Like everyone's path is like a little bit different.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like it isn't really like a guide.
It's uncharted right now. You guys are
pretty
gonna
much.
try to like navigate it and see where you can take it to be more.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
real. So what's been the biggest challenge for you in your career or just in your life to get to where you are today?
I would probably say it goes back to that, the idea creation, like the like challenging, and like I had the clothing brand before, and it failed, but it was like something that it transitioned to something else. So it was like dealing with failures and being able to keep going. Starting a business, whatever it may be, and then it may not work out the way that you wanted to.
Right.
And then redoing that whole process and like really trying to like reset, like think about everything that happened and like just keep it moving forward. Yeah.
One thing that I learned from working at Nike was evolve immediately.
Yeah.
And what that meant to me is like some things do fail, but you have to just take it for what's good about it and then use that to your next step.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's not always going to be like the grandest idea or the grandest result, but it's always progress that you can use towards your next thing.
Right.
And I try to do that too with all my endeavors. So I think that's a great tip for you. It makes me think about, I think every person has like a dream or a vision at some point in their lives. Maybe not today, but maybe when they were kids they had something, right? What would you say is the difference between people who have turned their dreams into a reality and the people who haven't?
I would say like actually like really believing in themselves. Like a lot of people, like it may not be like a conscious thing, but a lot of people prevent themselves from doing, taking that next step. It like to taking that leap of faith pretty much. It's not an easy thing to do. I grapple with it all the time. Like, well, when's going to be that time that I'm gonna just like leave my full time and pursue like this entrepreneurship type thing full time and working on my own. It's a scary thing to think about.
Trust me, bro.
Right, exactly. So it's like really, it sounds simple, but like really like believing in yourself and like really trying to do that separates, those people that are like really successful in doing what they love versus like those that are still like trying to, waiting for that thing to click.
Yeah.
And I don't think it works like that exactly.
No, there's never a perfect time to do anything worthwhile. It's always like a figure it out and just start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like you just gotta jump and
learn how to fly on the way down.
Exactly. I hope I got this parachute.
Right. Oh man, that's so real.
Huge,
So are you in charge of the DRC Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I run the Instagram.
So what's your secret sauce, your recipe for the Instagram to make it pop? You guys have like I think close to 7,000 followers right now.
Yeah.
Get really great engagement. What's your secret?
It's like really trying to just capture like the essence of what DRC is at that moment, and like just like dropping the right pictures with like the right messaging. Yeah, I mean, I do like a lot of the different like promotional aspects, like the flyers and things that we put on there.
Yeah.
But it's like really just capturing like a good picture. So
Right.
I know
High quality pictures.
Exactly,
too.
exactly. Not just like some bull.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is a good blurry pic. I'm gonna put this up.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's like you gotta find the ones that like evoke some type of emotion or that people can like when we post like our weekly group pictures. So you see like the hundreds of people like out there on a Wednesday. That's automatically going to get people like, yo, what is this and how do I join it?
Yeah. It's social proof.
Exactly.
I think the branding piece is a very, very integral part to creating that culture and creating that community because just like you said, Nike, when you make it look good, then people want to be a part of it. And you guys make it look very fun and, this really cool. So it's like, yo, that's dope. I mean, people respect that. So especially our generation where everything's so accessible and everyone's like, well, I can get that somewhere else.
Right.
You have to figure out why you want to do it here.
Right.
And I think that branding piece is very important. So
super huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Much respect to you guys on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And one thing I think about when you say do things differently is, I guess it's the nature of business that when you start doing something that's dope or that's successful, there's always going to be people who are going to try to copy you and do what you do. How do you handle that?
It's cool.
It's not cool.
It's cool. It's like, that's what's up. Like,
flattered?
Yeah, definitely flattered.
Okay.
But it's like I deal with it like anybody else. It's like, all right, y'all can keep doing y'all and trying to take that concept, and I'm still do me. Like I'm not really gonna I'm straightforward. I'm thinking about what I already have so much time in the day already to think about what I'm doing at work, what I'm doing for DRC, like what we got planned next. So it's like people can copy and create something. But if it's dope, they're doing it their way. As long as they're doing it their way, I'm cool with it. If it's like a carbon copy of what we did, with DRC, then it's like, like for real. And I might have to say something. Like, you couldn't change nothing. Like, that's what's up. Like, but you know where you got that from.
Right.
But
and people know too.
Yeah.
Like, what advice do you have for young people or runners or entrepreneurs who want to start a brand and want to, create something that's bigger than themselves? What's the mindset?
I would say take inspiration from everywhere and anywhere that you can. I would say going back to that copying thing. Don't just take something that someone's doing and steal it and redo it. Like you can take certain aspects from different things. Nothing is really original.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, but it's draw inspiration from all kinds of places. Not just if you're a designer. It's I'm looking at other people's work. It's all right, cool. I want to design just like that. Or if you're a photographer, or in any aspect, is draw different inspirations and motivations from anywhere. And I say travel. Yeah. Travel, see how other people in the world are doing different things.
Travel will teach you how to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When you see how people live, in different cultures and how they process things and how they live, it changes it changes part of you. And then you come in the States. You get so caught up in what we do here that you don't know what's so much other stuff out there in the world. Yeah. So really just drawing a lot of inspiration from multiple sources, whatever it may be. It could be cooking. You can I love to cook. Yeah. And you take that experience and that process and then apply that to different things.
I see. Yeah. So what steps should they take in order to start their business?
It comes to having that idea, brainstorming, making sure you work with the right people. If you want to have like business partners, like working with the right people that have the same goals.
Working with friends or working with strangers is better?
I mean, I've worked with friends only. I haven't really worked with like strangers per se. I would say it just depends. Like, if you all have the same mindset, and you know going into it's like, all right, we're all gonna be putting in just as much work.
Yeah.
Then I don't think it really matters.
Right.
As long as like y'all all have like that same like end goal.
Okay.
For whatever it may be.
That's real. That's real. Hey man, this was a dope conversation. I appreciate your time and your insight, man. You gave us some really cool feedback. Tell everyone how they can find you and what to look forward from in the next couple months from DRC.
Okay. You find me on Instagram. I'm at Mars Green, and you can find DRC on Instagram at District Running Collective. You can Google District Running Collective, and all of our info will pop up. Snapchat, Twitter, at District Running, districtrunningcollective.com.
You got YouTube?
No, I don't have a YouTube page. Well, I think we have a YouTube page, but we haven't like really used it.
Gotcha. You guys got plenty of footage.
We do got. I mean, we got tons of footage.
Yeah.
That's in the Google Drive.
That's on the low right. That's still in the safe.
We gotta get people pieces.
Respect. Oh, you guys can find me, Johnny Bailey, at JB's Food for Thought, Instagram, Twitter. You guys can find the ShineHard family at ShineHard family, ShineHardFamily.com, and we'll see you guys next week. Follow your passion, study, and as always, together we shine. Until next time, guys. Man, appreciate you.
Thank you.
23, I'm growing older. Getting closer to my prime, and my prime then it's over.